With the legislative and initiative efforts moving forward right now, are the recreational marijuana users in Utah just licking their chops?
If they were, I think they'd be disappointed. And given the rhetoric that surrounds this, they may well be. I think they'd be deluded. I think, you know, there have been a few states that have gone recreational in the country, and it always has been by initiative. But the overwhelming percentage, the vast majority of the states that have taken this issue up have just gone to medicinal and stayed there.
What form of medical marijuana do you use, and do you get high when you use it?
I prefer, when I can do it legal, I prefer vaporization. It allows me to get very fine dosing, so I don't have to take more than I want, and it's a very immediate effect. So if I have a flare-up, if I'm trying to overcome a spasm, I can get it into me quickly, and it can work. So that's the form I prefer. I've tried some of the forms of edibles. I've tried a patch. I've tried some of the others just to become familiar and to see if it works and if it's more or less convenient. But for me, the vaporization is the best. And it's like the vapor that comes out of your kid's vaporizer when they're sick, and it's that kind of a substance. There are definitely side effects. I mean, and I compare them to the side effects that I have under my opioid regimen when I can't get the cannabis. If there's a beautiful view or a beautiful picture, the colors become much more vivid. If there's a song that is particularly beautiful, it can accentuate the tone in a certain way. So it is psychoactive. I don't deny that. It functions differently. We were talking earlier about memory and time, and that's legitimate. I mean, and I don't know if that's part of getting high, but it is one of the side effects. And it's also something that you deal with in opioids. So you have to look at your watch. You have to make sure you calibrate for that. You're always focused on time. There's ways of overcoming it. But on balance, the side effects of the cannabis, as far as being functional, having energy, not fighting through a cloud, not to mention what it does to your digestive tract and some of the other side effects, much prefer the cannabis. Plus, I know if for some reason it malfunctions or I take too much, it won't kill me like the opioids have when the patch burst and my kids found me dead on the couch.
So I went downstairs to wake him up, and he was cold and clammy. He had turned gray.
If you had the chance to sit down and talk with the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 of the LDS Church, what would you tell them about medical marijuana?
I would try and explain that it produces real good outcomes in the other states where this is tried. If LDS people can be in other states that have adopted these programs, they can go to their bishop, they can get their temple recommend, as long as they're complying with the state programs, going to their doctor, it's being administered properly. It's no problem for those saints in those states. Why would we not allow the people who are suffering here to enjoy that same public policy? Why do we send the message, and maybe this is an unintended consequence of their policy, is that we send the message to the LDS, if you want to be faithful members of the church and be able to have all of the rights and privileges of a faithful member, you have to move outside of Utah if you're one of the 2% of the population that suffers from one of these conditions and you want relief. I think that's an unintended consequence that should be addressed as well.